Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Yeah. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail. Hello. Welcome back to the School of Fish again. A little bit different time, a little bit different day. Been a lot going on, juggling a lot of things. What is up, my buddy Kyron? Killing it on the show last night, getting in lots of pledges, making lots of money. Good to see you. Hope everything is going well. I'm going to be packing up the issues of Call 3 for my Patreon backers. Let's see. I know I've got a copy handy dandy close by. I decided I'm just going to start leaving a stack of all of my books around, so I've got props to pull up for videos. But Caw 3 is done, ready to go. It is getting shipped out to my Patreon backers today. This is the exclusive Patreon only cover. It's got all the background and stuff to it. It's got the Mighty Caw trying to squeeze his way out of the Mr. Fish Comics logo. Patreon only exclusive cover tag on it. This one is only going out to the Patreon backers. This is the only way you can get that one. And we printed them up on the show last time, got them all ready to go, all cut out. This time, I'm going to finish up some mini comics that I've been making that are going to go out with this as well, just to show off what we're doing. I'm going to get those folded, stapled, cut, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to talk our way through that stuff, and we're going to get this stuff packed up and ready to go to our backers. I see I'm having a bit of a technical problem back here with the other camera. Hold on one second. Let me try and get this going. Okay, let's see. How is that now? All right, let's see. Let's see if that fixed the issue. There, it seems to have fixed it. All right, and maybe if we go ahead and bring that image on the screen, maybe it will stick this time and not keep going off. Kyron, well, I got you here, and I can trust you on things to give me the hard, brutal truth on it, brother. Can you hear me okay from over here? Is the audio all right? Trying to see if you can hear me while I'm talking over here. Talkity, hoping that eventually Kyron's going to comment and let me know. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And I'm getting nothing from Kyron. Kyron's leaving me high and dry. Kyron is failing to respond when you need him. What do you expect from the one percenters? Come down to help the common man when you ask him for a hand? Of course not. Can't do that. That wouldn't be prudent. Wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be American. So we're just going to keep on keeping on until we see if we get it. What is up, Katie? Good to see you. Katie can hear me because Katie is sweet and kind and thoughtful and is going to help a fishy out when he needs a hand and not leave him hanging like a Kyron might, you know. Kyrons are known for that kind of thing. You know how they are. All right. So these are the sheets for the Caw the Cro-Magnon mini comics. I printed out plenty enough for Patreon backers to all get one so that they can get it before anybody else does and check them out. I'm going to end up printing up a whole bunch more for Urban NerdCon and take a bunch of them for that. It was a great show last night, Katie says. I'm sad I didn't feel up to join and be. Oh, man, I'm sad you weren't there, too. That would have been a whole lot of fun. That would have been a whole lot of fun. Yeah, I absolutely missed you last night. Katie probably would have got a fortune on her artwork. People would have been having to save up and invest in that. As it is, I think Kyron beat me. He was bringing in the big dollar amounts. All right, I just have to rethink this for a minute. Now, the way I printed this up was so that you can take one sheet double-sided and fold it, and you got front and back cover, fold it again, and then once we trim it, you get 2 books. I've also made a template that's available now on my Patreon for free where you can get this template for laying it up so that when you're done and you cut it, you get 2. Let's see. Here, this is the one. You get 2 of these little mini comics like this. I also made a template where you can fold it this way and then fold it up and cut it, and you get a 16-page mini comic out of the same sheet, depending on what you want to do. I like the little 8-page mini comics. It's a fun little way to introduce your story, tell people a little bit about what's going on, especially like at cons when people are interested, but they're not sure they really want to invest all the way in a full book. You can give them these little mini comics and be like, hey, for $2 or whatever, $1.50, whatever you want to do, here, you can check this out. You can even do it for $1. This thing cost me like 17 cents a piece to print. Here, you can have this little mini comic and check it out, and maybe you'll like it and you'll want to come back later and buy it. Or if you say made a sale and say somebody came in and they bought issue 1 of the Mighty Caw and they bought issue 2 of the Mighty Caw, and I don't have a source book handy, but they bought the source book, the whole 9 yards, and they bought issue 3 because issue 3 is out and ready to go now. Well, maybe I don't want to give them a Caw mini comic that's just going to add into that. Maybe I want to throw in a Green Zone mini comic and be like, hey, if you really like these, you might think about coming back and checking out Green Zone later and give them a little. If they're buying 2 or 3 or 4 comics, throwing in a mini comic that costs you under $0.25 is an easy giveaway. And on the back, I've got an ad about all my other comics, how you can sign up for the newsletter and get 2 free digital comics instantly. It's got a QR code that goes directly to my Linktree, where you can subscribe for the comics for just $10 a month at Mr. Fish Comics on Patreon, where you can follow me on social media. All the links are right there with one little QR code. You can throw that in as an advertisement, or maybe they've got little kids and you're like, hey, this is an all ages friendly book that I do, T-Man and Hyperstrike. It's got an ad on the back, and you've got a little 8-page comic that tells you about the story, tells you about the characters, gives you just enough to get you interested and say, hey, I want to go check that out. And now they've got your QR code. They can find you. They can order the books on the TikTok shop or the website, or they can subscribe on Patreon. It's a really handy dandy little thing, and I'm really excited about where it's going to go. And I'm really thinking it's going to be helpful in the long run for getting the word out. And not for nothing, the little mini comics make a neat little thing for kids. Like, a lot of times it shows there's not anything for the little guys. And so I'm trying to make a point to make more things that are easily affordable. Like, that's part of why I did the sketch cards the way I did, so I can do little sketches on the back, cheap and easy, and give a kid a drawing of his favorite superhero or whatever for, $5. And kids can get something. I can do these cheap. I've ordered bubblegum sticks and wristbands and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to put trading cards and stuff and make a pack out of these that has the mini comic and the trading card and the wristband for Mr. Fish Comics and stickers and all of that stuff, and make a neat little pack out of it that you can, buy for, say, $3 or 2 for $5 or whatever, and make something neat and affordable that the kids can get and have fun with. And there's no point in missing out on potential sales or making potential fans. It could be fans for the rest of their lives. Why would you want to skip out on that? Oh, Sarah's in the house saying good morning, Fish. Sarah says, Mel said we generated a lot of positive comments and that he expects we will get some online orders from it. I'll have to watch for that. I guess a lot of their viewers did not know about any of us. Well, probably not. And I've been on at least one show with Mog before. I think it was Thursday Night Throwdown, and she was a guest on there with me at the same time. Um, but yeah, I always have fun on those EXP shows, and they've got a really great fan base. They've got a really loyal fan base that is always coming back. I've enjoyed everything about every show I've ever been on over there. So I will absolutely come back anytime they ask. No problem. I'll get the edges lined up all nice and neatly. Get that crease started. I'm really liking using this brayer for the folds. It just does a whole lot nicer job. And now I've got these folded, there's still this folded edge here, but after we staple them, which I should have done, we're going to trim that edge off so all those pages are open, and then we're going to cut them through the middle. But I should have stapled that first. So we're gonna quit jaw jacking so much, and we're gonna start folding to get ready for staples, and then we're gonna staple them, and then we're gonna do the rest of the folding. Because when we talk too much, we're not paying close enough attention to what we're doing, and we make stupid mistakes. You can't make stupid mistakes when Sarahs are watching. Sarahs expect nothing but professional perfectionism out of us. Can't let the Sarahs of the world down. What would the Katies think if we let the Sarahs down? Then the whole thing starts to topple. Can't have that. Can't topple my empire of dirt. That's what Johnny Cash told me. It might seem a little loopy, but I was up late last night. That one's got a little bit of an ink smear on it, so we're going to have to watch out for that one and probably keep that in our personal collection. Use it for video props and whatnot. Further, because we're going to staple it first, because we're not stupid. That's what we're doing. I'll tell you what I need. I need a monitor or something over here so I can see comments when I got my back turned to the big screen. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that. If PJ was here, PJ tell me. Because PJ knows all, sees all, and tells you about half of it. Whoop. I'm getting dings on my social media. Probably Kyron's telling me I'm doing something stupid. Probably. Let's see. Katie says, you guys are making me blush talking about me on the stream last night. You guys had it easy. I stayed up till 5 a.m. to watch the stream. Jeff asked me why I slept so late this morning. I'm telling you, I was super amped from the show and didn't fall asleep for ages I was stuck talking to Kyron for like an hour or two after the show. I don't remember. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to bed. My wife was long asleep. I was amped after being on the show and talking and everything. Couldn't fall asleep. Let's see. Ooh, dang my dinger. Okay. That's just old friends messaging me. That's not Kyron messaging me telling me something terrible happened. All right. Stapler. That's what we need. We need my handy dandy super dusty stapler. And I need my ruler that I did not hang back on the wall so I wouldn't lose it. And just to triple check, because OCD will never let us rest. And it's 4 1/4. Go figure. It's the same measurement that it always is. How could that be? How could that be? All right, 4 1/4. And now I'm going to test it on this test sheet that I've been stapling on and stuff. And just to make sure that that came out right, yep, 4 1/4. That's close enough for what we're doing. All right. Really wish I hadn't bent that first, but I did. What are you gonna do? There we go. There we go. Nice and neat stapled, and that one was already folded. I try and pick a place in the image and keep the staples as consistent as I can. I want to put them fairly evenly down the book. So I'm trying to do about the middle of his wing and about the middle of his boot. But yeah, we had a fun time on the show last night. It was good getting to hang out with all my friends and whatnot. And like me and Kyron were talking, man, to just get to hang out with your friends and draw and make a little money. That was a good time. Kyron said we all need to figure out a way to monetize our friendships. Kyron told me that's how he got rich, was monetizing his friendships. I said, Kyron, we can't all be pimps. Kyron just raised his cane at me, and then I shut up. I know better. All right. Now, this is where I wish my eyes were a little bit better. Because, man, trying to see that sometimes, trying to see where the white is lining up with the white is kind of difficult sometimes. Wait a minute. Is that this white page or is that white page? Or are they the same? Because I can't tell. Because my eyes is getting old. I mean, all of me's getting old, but the eyes seem to be doing it so much faster. I just love that little brayer. Man, that thing makes those folds so nice and neat. That was, when I bought that little thing for doing block prints that I did not continue to do because my first block print I carved, my first linoleum print I carved was not as good as I wanted it to be. And so I stopped rather than continue on and learn and get better. I was kicking myself thinking, man, I wasted money on that brayer for something I'm not going to use. I love this thing. I've been using it so much for folds. Love it, love it, love it. All right, now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, which is going to make us 10 mini comics, which is going to give us plenty to send out to all of our friends on the internet land. Alrighty. Now, move that out of my way a bit. And now, can y'all still see me over here? Well, you can essentially see me over here. I can't move that easily. All right, now I'm going to set my paper cutter to just under 4 1/4 because right now they're 4 1/4 wide, folded in half the way they are. And I just want to trim off 1/16 of an inch on that edge. I'll show you on this camera here. Like they're 4 1/4 this way now. Bring the ruler up. They're 4 1/4, and I just want to trim off like a 1/16 of an inch, so it'll just cut through that edge and open that up, and then we will have the 8-page comic right like that opens up. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just trimming that edge off. And with my handy dandy paper cutter, I can trim the whole stack at one time. And I love that. So get them all nice and lined up. Get them all pressed in there nice and tight. And my handle is locked, so I can stick my fingers down here right now and not worry about accidentally cutting my fingers off. Whoops, going the wrong direction. And now I'm going to put the clamp down to hold the pages in place. I was cutting big stacks of comics last time, so it was a lot higher than it normally is. Bring it back till I hear that click so I know it's locked. And there we go. All the books are nice and neatly trimmed now. They're all the same width. All the pages are open. Those last pages have now been opened up all nice and neat. And now we know that the page is 11 inches. We know because we printed it on an 11 by 17 sheet. So we know that it's 11 inches this way. And so that puts the middle of that right at 5 1/2. A little bit different the way mine printed. Just a hair high. Yeah, they're all just a hair high. So we're going to adjust that. Oh, that one's right on. That's one thing. The printers can be just a hair off from one another sometimes. Okay, I'm going to measure these out and put them in like piles because there is just a slight difference. That one is just a hair above 5 1/2. That one is even more above. Damn. I mean, and by way, I mean like it's 1/8 of an inch. But on something this small, that's quite a bit. So, all right, I'm going to cut those in 2 different sets. And I'm just triple checking again because you can never measure enough times. That is 5 7/8 for that stack. There's 5 1/2, and there's 7. And be sure when you're cutting this that the edge you measured from is the edge you put against the guard in here. I know y'all can't see from there. But don't make the mistake of measuring from one end and then flipping it over and cutting from the other direction. I have made that mistake. And when you're doing these things that are printed at home and there could be a little bit of variation between the way it grabbed one page and the next, don't make the mistake of like when you're stacking things to print of accidentally turning one of them. That will bite you every time. Not that I know from experience. righty. Those came out really nice. There's just a little bitty tiny strip of red on that one, but that'll be fine. That's perfectly within my quality control issues. And these are just a smidge above. Not even a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to split that 1/16 of an inch. Get as close to a 32nd as I can measure on this thing. Slide the books in, hold them down, clamp them down tight. And there we go. Now we've got a neat little stack of comics. I'm going to look for the one that had the smear on it. There we go. That's the one that had the smear on it. And that one had a little line that was on the same page. So those two got a little bit messed up, but I'm just going to I'm going to put those over here in my stack of mini comics that I use for props. I'm going to wiggle my way around all the trash cans and stuff in the room. I'm going to put that cup in the trash. I thought I might have had one more mini comic over here. I may have had it in the other room. Sarah says the brayer seems better for creasing paper than a bone folder. Those can scratch the ink off. See, that's what I was worried about. I was actually thinking about getting a bone folder, and I still might get one for certain things, but for this, it has absolutely been the best thing I have found yet for folding printed images and not getting a scratch or anything on it. Now, I did notice on my first sample of Caw 3 that I printed, not this one, but the other one where Kessa's skin came out way too dark. Not that dark skin's a bad thing, it just came out so dark on the print that it was hard to tell the detail. But when I printed that one, like I didn't wait for pages to dry or anything. I just sent it through the printer real quick. Printed the inside of the cover, then I printed the inside of the cover, then I flipped it over, printed the outside, stacked everything together, stapled it, and then when I went over it with the brayer, I went over it 3 or 4 times to really make sure it was down, and it lightly faded the ink a little bit on a line right there because I went over it so many times and it hadn't really had a chance to dry. But on everything else that I've given significant time for it to completely dry, I haven't seen any issues at all on it. And I don't get all those little lines when I try and do it with my finger and get it flat first. Like you get a lot of little bitty micro creases along there. And you know how comic folks are with their comics. So I didn't get that this time, and I like that. So I gotta get these books put into storage, but I have not done that yet. Go figure. All right. Now, I forgot. I just had a couple new subscribers to the subscription tier on Patreon. So you're going to excuse me for a second while I pull up another website real quick and go look and make sure that I am getting enough books for everybody packed up and I'm not missing anybody that subscribed at the physical tier. And let's see. I am going to go by tier. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 at the physical tier, and then a couple more digital supporters and a couple general supporters. Thank you so much for everybody that has jumped on recently. I really appreciate all the new people that have joined in. I appreciate all the free people that have joined in just to follow what's going on. I appreciate all the new people like Mr. Midlife Crisis and Jeff and everybody that's joined on recently. Thank y'all very much for coming on. I need to now see, I know how many I need to pack, but my dyscalculia in my brain is telling me that I got the number wrong. So I'm going to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the physical. Okay. 6. Sarah is going to hold me accountable to that it's 6, because when I get over there, I'm not going to believe it anymore. And one of them, actually, I need to print up some posters for. I forgot. So we're going to do that real quick. We're going to do that together as a team. Because what are we if not a team? Bunch of weirdos? Probably. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, you know what? I should do another one too. Because it's only going to cost me maybe $1 difference to print 3 of them as to print 1 of them. But I am going to turn that one off for just a second, and I'm going to share my other screen. Bippity 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 boppity boo. All right. And we're going to add that to the stream so that you can see that. Thank you, sir, for keeping me accountable that it is 6. One of my amazing Patreon backers had hit me up for a commission, and to my dismay, but I'm nothing if not brutally honest. To my dismay, I accidentally forgot about the commission she asked me for. I gave her a great deal on it. She sent me the money for it. And in all the juggling of like the Kickstarter and everything that I was doing for the last 3 books and stuff, I forgot about the commission she asked me to do. She didn't ask me about it again until the other day. And then she was like, "Hey, can I get that? Can I get that image for our show, for next month?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot." I totally apologized. I explained that I forgot. It's part of the heat strokes are not a joke. You need to pay attention when you're getting too hot. If you start to get dizzy, you need to go inside and cool down and hydrate. If you stop sweating, you need to go to the freaking hospital. Not Don't take it lightly like I did, because heat strokes can lead to a lot of problems. They can lead to death, and they can lead to permanent brain damage. And you will forget commissions that people asked you to do. Don't play with it. So I apologized, and I spent all day making it right, got it ready for her in plenty of time. And she wants to take some posters with her to Urban NerdCon, which I'm going to be at too, to give to Cree Summer, who did everybody knows who Cree Summer is. She's an amazing voice actress. I have loved her ever since she was on, what was it? Another World, A Different World, after the Cosby Show. I absolutely loved her. She's been the voice of everybody from just everybody, all the cool characters, everybody in animation and stuff. And she did a cool voiceover for Moana and Dana for their show, the Moana Nui podcast. And they wanted to do a title card that had all 3 of them on there and some of her characters. So I got this put together for her, and I'm making some posters since all of us are going to be at Urban NerdCon at the end of April in Atlanta. She wanted to have a poster to take to her, so I'm making some so she will have them ready to go. For Dana. Yeah, we'll do this one. And now we're going to wait for it to download, and you can't even see what I'm doing because I didn't turn it on. But anyway, we are now downloading the file. Downloading. You can't see that window for some reason. They are downloading. It's almost downloaded from the other computer. And 1, 2, 3. Bob's your uncle. There we go. We got Dana, we got Moana, and then we got Chris Ummer in the background. And we've got some of the different amazing characters that she's done. Not anywhere near all of them. Like, Dana sent me an exhaustive list of all the characters she's done, like freaking Vixen from Gargoyles, and just every character I've ever loved from any show, pretty much she's done. The Princess from Atlantis is one of my favorite characters in Disney anything. So anyway, now we are going to adjust this to 11 by 17 and see how much we got to change. Hopefully not too much. Inches, width 17 by 11. Okay, doesn't look like we're going to have to change too much. Just shrink everything a little bit. All right, select all that. Go to resize. Wait a minute for that to kick in. Hold Shift and Alt at the same time, so they're all shrinking at the same rate. And I'm going to shrink it down until all of their faces get in fine. And get in within, I want a little bit of extra border around there, just because when it prints borderless, it expands it a little bit so that it goes off the page. So I want to make sure all the characters are in there good. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to wait for it to get done thinking, because this is a huge file and it's 600 DPI and there's several layers in it now. And now I'm going to grab the folder with all the background stuff, and I'm going to resize just that background. There we go. And click OK. And since that leaves a little stripe at the bottom, we are going to make another layer underneath the logo, but above everything else. And I'm going to put a little stripey down here. And let's pick that color and fill it in, see how that looks. It's not bad. Not bad. Could be better. Okay, we're going to deselect. I'm going to hit lock transparent pixels so I can't get outside of this little area. And then I'm going to select an area that grabs the top edge of that stripe. And let's grab a purple here. And then we're going to paint. And it only paints in that selected area, but because I locked the transparent pixels, it won't go out of the area that I had already done. So there we go. That looks okay. And now we'll grab the Moana Nui podcast logo and bring it down a little bit right there into that. Show off a little bit more of that cool pattern on Moana's shirt that's getting covered up. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. All right, that will work. And that gives room for anybody that wants to sign at the top and stuff. A little bit of room to sign at the bottom, maybe. All right, now I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to save it in Dana's file, and I'm going to save it as 11 by 17 poster. And wait for it to save, wait for it to save, wait for it to save, wait for it to save. And then we are going to go to print. And we are printing on the Epson. We are going to properties. And we want to print borderless. We want to print landscape. All good. We want to print on photo paper glossy for this one. And we are going to, all right, the ink is turned down a little bit because it tends to make it a little too wet. And all right, we are going to print one copy and see how that does on a handy dandy Epson 8550. And there we go. We got the print preview. Do, 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 do. And there we go. Now it is sending it off to the printer. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do, silly fishy. Man, every time I take my phone camera off of the screen over here in Restream, it ends up turning off my phone. I don't know how my phone knows that it's not actively on screen anymore, but it does, and it turns it off. So now I'm going to have to go turn that back on in a minute. But you know what? Gosh darn it, my Patreon backers are worth it. I'd do anything for them. Question for my beloved fellow creators out there in the world. What would you guys recommend to include in my next Kickstarter? Because I'm planning on launching a Kickstarter in May for most likely Call 1 through 4. Issue 3 is done already, gone out. It's going out to Patreon backers today. I can easily have issue 4 done before the end of the campaign, or immediately thereafter. It's not going to take me long to do. I put out a book every month. It's not going to be hard to get another book done by then. April's book is almost finished. I'm just waiting for the flatter to get me back some pages, and I could have it colored. If I had the pages right now, I could probably have it colored by the end of the week. So I need to make a new Kickstarter. I have started simplifying more and more on what I'm adding. I want to keep it as easy to fulfill and stuff as I can, but what are some things that have proven to be good money makers for you on a campaign, like something people actually enjoy and want to get? Because I've offered a lot of different things at times, and some things that I'm like, oh yeah, that sexy poster of Alice for Fishtails, that's going to sell gangbusters. Sold one. So I don't always necessarily know. Oh, I forgot. I changed the settings on that, and I got a little bit of a white line. So we are gonna. That's why we do test prints. Let's pull that back up, and I will show you exactly what I did wrong. Okay. We're gonna go to File. We're gonna go to Print, Properties, get into our little Epson menu here, and we're on borderless. And then we're going to go into the settings. Now, for the mini comics, I have this set to minimum because as small as the mini comics are, I don't want them spreading out too far. And as small as the mini comics are, and as small the tolerances as I have on the mini comics, if it spreads that image out an eighth of an inch from the center out everywhere, that's going to make every one of those pages off-centered on the page a little bit. So I have it set to grow almost none at all. So if there's a little white border around one edge or something, it's not a big deal to me on the mini comics. On a poster print like this, I absolutely don't want a white edge around it. I'm fine with it growing the entire large image over a large page, an eighth of an inch out, so that it bleeds off the edge of the page. That's great for a poster, not so great for a comic book or a mini comic. On a mini comic, that's a much bigger difference on each one of those little pages. So I absolutely turned it down for the mini comics, but I want to take it back up to standard for this poster. Well, I'm gonna take it to medium and print the next one and see how that does. All right. So we're gonna print one more, and we're gonna make sure that that prints okay before going on too far. We're gonna click OK on that, which you can't see because I just turned that screen off. And there we go. It's going to the printer again. And let me bring this down out of the way. So, Sarah, what are some things that have been, good hits for you on the Kickstarters? Like, I've had middling success with even variant covers. Like, there are some guys like, the J-Men and the Brad Arneys and stuff and the Ezekiel's that'll come in and get the all covers tiers. But honestly, it's not that many. And the amount of money that I bring in usually from the all covers tier, honestly, usually doesn't cover the cost of the variant covers that I got made anyway, unless I'm lucky enough that I managed to get it, do a trade with a friend or something on it. Like I have a couple of artist friends that I can trade work with, I'll do a pinup for you if you do a pinup for me kind of thing. But I'm curious. I'm thinking about doing t-shirts, and I'm always kind of iffy about backing t-shirts on a campaign because usually they're farmed out to somebody else and it's usually really crappy quality and the images usually wash out really quickly. But these DTF transfers that I've been getting hold up really well. I mean, these shirts have been washed dozens of times now, and there's a hair bit of cracking in a couple of places, but they've held up really great and they look nice. uh Better than any other t-shirt I've gotten from any campaign or anything else, except for the ones that I've gotten from Laura and Sarah. Those are usually really high quality. And uh, I think that Lori flexing one that I had might be screen printed. I'm not sure about the Laguna Studios one, but it is thick. It is a big, thick, rubbery print. Feels like screen print. All right. That is what we want right there. And I'm going to bring it over just to show you the difference because, you got to see. See, on this one, we got the nice, neat print, and all the edges are nice and clean. And on this one, there's just a little bit of a white edge that it didn't quite catch. It bled off on one edge, but not on the other. And my Patreon backers deserve better than that. So that one isn't going out to Dana. This one absolutely is. And she really just wanted a print that she could give to Cree Summer and thank you for doing the voiceover. But, if anybody knows your Uncle Fishy, they know one of my life mottos is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And so I am absolutely going to send her a print for Cree Summer that she wanted, and a print for her, and a print for Moana. And because, like I said, it cost me like $1 more to print two more of them than it did to print just one. So I ain't hung up about that. Okay. And we are off to the races. You see my photo black is getting low. I'm fixing to have to add some more ink in pretty soon, but I want to get them all the way down so I can really tell how much ink I got out of a cartridge so I can add that into my prices for printing. Sarah says that's an interesting question. I think we get the most backers on that standard cover. We do get some luck with shirts and metal prints sometimes. Yeah, metal prints are cool. I have heard a few people say over the last, few months that like they've got as many metal bookmarks as they want now because everybody started doing them. And I totally get that. I still think a metal bookmark is a really cool uh bonus add-on stretch goal thing. Like, like, oh, if we hit this much, everybody gets a metal bookmark. I still think is a really neat treat. And when I get one as a free something, I'm always excited about it and looking for some place to put it. Uh but also I'm not somebody that's just gonna say, oh yes, I want to order those. So, like to me that like those bookmarks are like a really cool freebie, but I don't know if I really want to buy them. Uh, I've always been iffy about t-shirts, but one thing that I'm going to do on this campaign is if I do end up doing the t-shirts, I'm going to make a point of showing the quality of the shirts that I'm going to be pressing them myself, that there's going to be something that you can count on will be high quality. It will be this brand of shirt, this thickness, this material, and not just whatever cheap knockoff shirt Teespring sends you or whatever. I would absolutely love to use your pick for alt cover when you get done with it. I'm honestly thinking I might use it for the trade or something because I know it's going to be beautiful uh, when it's done. I'm also thinking on my Kickstarter this time of leaving my reward tiers very simple. Like this is this is where you can get issue 3, this is where you can get issue 4, this is where you can get both of them, this is where you can buy uh all of the Caw books in one bundle, and mm, and then maybe like a swag pack that has all of the t-shirts and I mean all of the books and a t-shirt and a poster and stuff in it maybe, but everything else I'm going to just have as add-ons. Like you can get all my other books if you want them, but they're going to be add-ons. I'm not going to make any more. I don't want to have 100 tiers for people to have to go through anymore. I want to keep that as simple as I can, make it easy to say this is what I'm going to do and not dig around trying to figure out which tier is better than the next. The Laguna Studios shirts were printed by a local place here, but most of the stuff we get is from Printful. Definitely recommend. Good deal. Good. Oh yeah, those Laguna shirts were really nice and thick. Like the the quality of the shirt and the quality of the print was top notch. Highly recommend. And one of my stretch goals, which I know I mentioned before, but for people that are watching this now on chopped up into pieces on TikTok or whatever, uh, load in that other sheet since that one page came out misprinted, and I will keep that misprint for myself. Frame it, and you won't see that little edge. All right, send this to print one more time. I know you can't see it, but it's the same thing we did before. And I'm just going to go OK on print and wait for the print preview window to come up and then click OK. And my whole screen glitches out for a second, which makes me nervous. But my computer is doing a lot right now. Oh yeah, one of the things that I'm going to do as a stretch goal on the next campaign is doing the custom printed Gemini mailers. And if we hit say $2,000 over goal, then I'm going to buy a small screen print press that I can print customized mailers on and print them to look like VHS tapes with my logo on them. And then like on the other side, it's a VHS tape, and the sticker area on the tape is where you can put the shipping label, or print it to look like a Game Boy, and the screen of the Game Boy is where I can put the shipping label. And on the back where the cartridge is, have an area that I can print little labels on my thermal printer that's like, Call 3, The Revenge. And so you're playing the game of the book. And that's going to be a stretch goal that I do. And so after that, like once I have the screen print, the the press and some screens and emulsion and stuff, I could start doing my own like four color screen printed shirts, which would be cool as an extra thing. I'm really more interested in printing swag and stuff and printing boxes and cool things like that. But I could absolutely start screen printing some shirts too. Um, but I really like the DTF transfers. I really like it because you can get those in sheets and get them so cheap each. Like, like this big print of Virgil, I could get a sheet of those and get them down to like $1 a piece for the print. And then all I got to do is, buy some shirts and press them. And I can do with a stack of those prints and a stack of shirts in different sizes. I can just print up whatever you want. Oh, you want a Virgil t shirt? Yeah, I can knock that out for you this afternoon. Oh, you want a Mighty Call flying t-shirt with his wings up? Absolutely, got you. Oh, you want Call with the sword on his back? I got you. So I'm absolutely with the next Kickstarter going to be buying several sheets of those prints so that I can just knock those shirts out as need be. Um, but yeah, I don't want to go into business printing everybody else's stuff because frankly, that would be my business instead of doing comics. I could make a whole lot more money if I just went into business printing stuff for other people. Uh, I could make so much more money doing that and be so much more profitable. But this is what I love. This is my passion. I'm a storyteller, and I don't get to be a storyteller printing other people's t-shirts. So I don't want to go into business doing other people's shirts. But because I have done screen printing and stuff for a living multiple times in my life, I know how to do it. I know how to do it well. If I can do it myself and give out good quality products for my friends and my fans and my Patreon subscribers and save some money in the process, yes, I'm absolutely going to do that. Okay, I need to let those dry a little bit before I stick them in clear plastic bags. But we can start packing the rest of the 6 books that we need to pack. We're going to pack 5 of them. We're going to wrap up 6 of them, get them ready. But the one for Dana is going to go out with the poster. So it's going to go in a different size box. I need to go turn my camera back on over here. All right. There we go. Let me get this turned back on over here before it goes off on me again. There we go. All righty. There we go. Now we've got the mini comics ready to go. Got our pen. Make sure the ink is flowing. It is. All right. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of those. Let's see. Let's sign on this thing. I gotta find a place on every book to sign. That's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about the white covers I've been doing is it leaves a lot of nice area to sign. And frankly, I just really like the way the white covers pop, the colors pop off of the white background. And the way they look on the table as people are walking by. I really don't want it to just become my thing that's the only kind of covers that I do for my books, but I really like them. Those are signed. One, two, three, four, five. My signature changes so much time to time. I mean, some things never change, but if somebody ever did want to forge my signature, if you got the F and the L generally right, you would be good. Like, if you asked me, I would say that I didn't sign that one because it doesn't look like my signature, but I just signed it. Crazy fishy. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I may not have any stickers that my Patreon backers haven't already got. Huh. I didn't think about that. I should have done a new sticker for Patreon. I meant to do a sticker sheet this month, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to do the mini comics. And I didn't. I mean, I didn't do the sticker sheets. I did the mini comics instead, which is good. It's a cool extra add-on. So they're going to get Alice and Big Ten stickers. Which it's all free anyway, so, you know, who's going to complain about free swag? All right. Get ye old bags and boards ready. Put in a little old comic book. Put a little old funny book in there for them. Gonna put a little mini comic in there for them too, because that's how we do. Gonna stick some stickers in there for them, because you know who would we be if we wasn't being extra? We wouldn't be Uncle Fish, that's for dang sure. Because Uncle Fish and extra go hand in hand like peas and carrots. All right, there is one bagged up, ready to go. And come on, shaky hands. Come on, Fishy, your Tourette's is showing. Don't get shaky on now. I was so surprised I didn't get super shaky on the show last night, being so late. But having fun and talking to so many of my friends that were on screen with me at the same time really helped keep my mind occupied, keep me from getting too ticky. Ricky ticky tabby. Happy in the doll hole. There we go. There I go again. What a weakness, man. Whenever you hear me, that pretty much guarantees it's a tick. And it's funny, but that's a tick that I picked up from a friend of mine. And now almost every time I tick, that comes out too, almost like a little punctuation mark. It's something my wife can listen for now. Oh, he's ticking, and not just like saying something weird. Because I will also just say something weird. I will quote random songs nobody else has ever heard, or you know, obscure lines from TV shows that nobody else remembers. I am really proud of this book. This issue of Call came out really cool. I'm really excited about the artwork. I'm excited about the story. I'm excited about the characters I'm getting to introduce. I'm excited about the world. And I'm mostly excited about getting to introduce the warrior Kess, daughter of the clan Black Bear. Because she is a badass. And I just love her. And she is inspired by my beautiful daughters and how they are all beautiful, powerful, mighty women and amazing mothers and wives and sisters and daughters and everything. Oh, yeah, stickers. I put it on top of the stickers. That's why I can't find them. And I'm just so excited to get to show who she is. And I'm really excited about the story that T.S. Luther wrote for Fish Tales Volume 2, which features Kess as a teenager and shows us a little bit more about who she is and where she comes from and what this world's like and some of the other clans and species living on this planet, and and how she rates among the other people and the other kids from the other clans. And he wrote such an awesome story, and it really helps flesh out the world some and show you more about what's going on. And he did it in such a clever way. Like, bits of lore are just worked in such interesting, clever ways. I just love it. It's a great story, and is really going to go a long way to telling more about the world of Kaw and more about uh, the warrior Kess. She is an awesome character. I love her. She's great. Oh, can't show you that page. Can't show you that page. I can show you the last page. She's a badass. I love her. Anyway, all right, we have got those packed up. One of those is for that. Oh, gotta do a sketch card. Gotta do a sketch card for one of my higher end backers. It gets a sketch card every month. So there we go. Let me get my markers and pens. I'm gonna make that full screen so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna come over here and grab some things. Alrighty. Yeah, you can see. Okay. All right. I know he's probably gotten a sketch card call last time, I'd be willing to bet. So this time I'm going to do Kess. So if you ask me, she's the star of the show this time. All right, her little mohawky, throw some ears in here. Putting a little bit more work into her face than I would if this was, like, say, an image of Kaw. because she's a woman, and little mistakes on Kaw's face just make him look meaner and more rugged. A tiny mistake on her face can make her look 20 years older. Shit. What was that? Y'all can't really see that, can you? Well, don't worry, it's fixing to come to life in beautiful black and white. If only I could see what I was doing, then I'd really be an artist. Instead of having to work blind. I also, on the story for Fishtails for this month's book, the Kess story I inked traditionally for the first time in forever, and it was so much fun. At first, it really bugged me because like I couldn't zoom in and all the things I was used to being able to do. But it came out good, and in the end, I also forgot I don't have a large format scanner anymore at the house, so I had to take it to Staples to scan them. And after I got them scanned and got them home and tweaked them and got them in place, I really kind of loved the roughness of some of it, that it didn't have the over polished digital edge, because I could get things exactly the way I wanted them digitally, and I could undo messed up lines and stuff. And where here I just like, I know I could white out and I could cover up, and I've learned all kinds of tricks since I went digitally. I've learned all kinds of tricks for fixing traditional artwork that I didn't even realize was a thing back in the day. And I just figured, like, well, once you put it down in ink, it's down, so you better get it right the first time, or learn to fix it and work it in. So I just learned to fix it and work it in, and don't really go back and change much. If I make a mistake, well, it just gets worked into the project. And I didn't know that the pros back in the day would use so much white out and white paint and paste over mistakes and stuff. Like, I didn't, call me silly, I didn't know they did that. So I just learned to do it and trust my work. And I really enjoyed the roughness and the energy in some of the lines that's just harder to get digitally. And so many little things that you can just do with a brush with the flick of a wrist like this, that is a lot trickier to get out of a digital brush. Not that you can't, but like, I don't have to switch brushes to go from making these lines to making those finer lines. I don't have to switch brushes to go from making this fur to now making these teeth. And I like that. I miss that part about working traditionally. But it also comes with the negatives of, like, with my Tourette's, if I'm not having a great day, I can't just work anyway. I can't adjust the settings to offset my shaky hands. Like, I can adjust the post correction on my digital pen to smooth out a little bit of my tremors, which some would say is unfair. For me, I say, it's an amazing thing for a disabled artist like me to be able to do the quality of work that I know I'm capable of if it wasn't for the Tourette's. And it's allowed me to be able to work again and make a living in a way that I couldn't for 15 years. So I don't care if somebody says it's cheating. I love it. And I just really enjoy being able to do it traditionally again. It took a little longer. I could have had that book done a week ago if I didn't decide to do those pages traditionally, but it was a lot of fun. And I like having the finished pages that I can look at. And I missed the old school workflow that I used to have of being able to put all those pages up around the room so I could look at them as I was working on the next pages and pull on them for reference. And I missed that. So that was fun. Oh, I forgot her. I forgot her ponytail sticking off in the back here. I was about to put her name, and I was about to put it right there over that, and that would have been a tragedy. Tragedy. A tragedy. A tragedy of anthropomorphic proportions. Because we're just talking nonsense. Of course, you're a tragedy. Let that dry for a second and grab a penny sleeve. Oh, there they are. Why the hell got stuck up there? Alrighty. Now we'll give it just ever so slightly in erasing. Get rid of a little of that blue. And this Mighty Cod trading card, sketch card of the Mighty Kess, is going out to Roscoe, one of my top backers that also gets a commission from me every month, which there are a handful of Tears Left For. So I'm going to pull his book and Dana's book out separately so they don't get mixed up with the monthly books. And now we start packing. There we go. Put that. Put a little thank you card in there. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you ever so much. Put a thank you sticker right on there. I'm hoping if we reach the stretch goal on the Kickstarter to do the customized Gemini mailers for the Kickstarter, then after that, I'm going to leave them as a special thing just for my Patreon backers. And let me see, I saw the test print. Like what I want to do is like print them up so that they'll look like a Mr. Fishman Game Boy controller. And then I got room here to put your shipping label and everything. And then on the back, it would be the back of it. I'm going to have to tape them differently so we got the whole flat back to work off of and start taping them down the edge. But this would look like the back of the controller with the battery pack and where the cartridge goes. And then on the cartridge, I can put a little sticker each time that tells you what book is getting shipped out to my Patreon backers this time. Or decorate them up so they look like a cassette tape, and the title on the mixtape is what the book is this month. Or a VHS tape, and the sticker on the VHS tape on one side, it's a shipping label. On the other side, it would be a sticker for The Mighty Caw 4 or Fishtails Volume 10 or whatever the new book coming out is. I thought of several other custom designs I could do too. And when I have my own press, I can just make up the screens and print out a stack of them for my Patreon backers and whatnot. Lickety split. And that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. If we hit the stretch goal on the Mighty Caw 1 through 4, which will be coming in May. I just want to make sure that my Patreon backers get the books first, because the people that back me every month and subscribe and get a book shipped to them every month, they got to get everything first. They need the privilege of getting the first take at things, the first special covers, and all of the extra bells and whistles, because they're the ride or dies that are there for you all the time, regularly supporting you. They deserve the best of the best, which is why they're getting free mini comics and stuff this time, because I appreciate my Patreon backers. And you can subscribe for physical books now for as low as $10 a month, which is an amazing deal. And I'm only going to leave that tier open for the next few months for people to subscribe at. But that's $10 a month, shipping included. And anybody who's worked in indie comics knows it costs $5-6 just to ship a book. So that's a heck of a deal. For those that really want to get in first and want to get all the books at a great price. And it's cheaper than they're going to be on Kickstarter. And honestly, with shipping and everything, it's cheaper than they're going to be on the TikTok shop or my website or anywhere else. And that's all the books that I put out. So you can subscribe right now and get the Mighty Caw, the Cro-Magnon. Like, my Patreon backers are getting this shipped to them for the month of March. And this is a little bit shorter comic book so that I can get them out regularly, and there's a new book every month. And at shows and stuff, I sell this for $5-6. So getting this for $5 is fine. That's a great deal. The other books, like Fish Tales that I put out that are a lot longer, or Green Zone, stuff like that, all of those books sell for $10 anywhere else. They sell for $10 on the website. They sell for $10 on the TikTok shop. They sell for $10 at the cons. You can get those as well for $5. You know, $10 with shipping, but essentially you're paying half price for those books too. And why are you getting that special deal? Because I appreciate the regular support from people. And I really would like to push people to back on the Patreon instead of Kickstarter, because then you'll get a book every month. And then I can just focus on making awesome books and not have to worry about also setting up a Kickstarter page and all those extra steps along the way. Oh, I'm down to frustration. All that extra stuff that takes extra time. You know what I'm going to do? I don't want his sketch card to blow away, so I'm going to put that sticker on the plastic. Keep it tucked in there so it doesn't go anywhere. But it should come off the plastic easy enough. Look, I did not get that taped very neatly. But it would be messier to rip it off. But that's going to bug me that that's not neat. And so I don't confuse it, so I don't lose the one that has the sketch card. All right. That has got that taken care of, except for Dana's, which need to get packed up. They've had time to dry. Look at those beautiful, colorful posters. Didn't those come out looking nice? Just lovely. Loving everything about them. That one tucked in. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I'm not going to seal it as much as I want to seal it. I'm going to take a tip from World at War Comics, and I'm going to try this and see. That should come up. I think that will come up easy enough. And hold it down for now. But I know Dana's probably going to want to pull it out and sign it, and maybe have sign her and Dana's. So I don't want to seal it. I mean, the thing I love about these bags is they're resealable, but sometimes after they've been sealed, people don't want to open them again. Or occasionally, because the sticky is on the back, usually it keeps things pretty safe. But every once in a while on a comic, I'll open it and then accidentally set the bag down on a comic, and now that is stuck to the surface, and I don't want to give her any potential hassles. So I'm going to use a sticker to seal it for now. and then she can take that sticker off and use the sealing part to seal it up for good. There we go. So now those are ready to go. 3 beautiful posters, one for all 3 of the beautiful ladies. Now I'll pull out one of my poster boxes. Keep tucked under the table. Just such an occurrence. These things were a great purchase that I made with the last Kickstarter to just make it easier to ship them flat. And I got some posters shipped to me this way, and I just loved the boxes, and I had to ask where they got them from so that I could do it myself. And we're going to put that there. We're going to grab masking tape. And always leave an end, make a friend. Put a little end on it so that there's a nice, easy way for them to pull it up later. And both the tabs are going the same way so they can take them off nice and easy. That book is nice and pinned down in the center. These prints should be fine and dandy. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put a little tape on the bag too. And I'm going to have it run the same way. And I'm just going to tag the very edge of it. So don't want to take any chances of how long it sits in here in the mail in a hot truck before she gets it. And it just gluing itself to that. I hate it when people make books too hard to get into. Like, I get wanting everything to be taped down, but sometimes, man, it's like trying to break out of Alcatraz to get into a book sometimes. Gotta have a thank you for your support sticker on there. Gotta have a thank you card tucked away in there. I don't care if thank you card gets beat up. That's no consequence to me. Thank you card's cheap. Nobody's gonna save that thank you card. Nobody's gonna put that thank you card in that collection. And that tape's not gonna work because I just ran out of tape. Silly, silly fishy. Looking like a boy in a man's world. What are you doing, son? You're embarrassing me. I know I got it. Oh, I was looking in the wrong drawer. That's why I couldn't find it in the wrong drawer. I was looking in the wrong drawer. Why not look in the right drawer, Fishy? Oh man, I had it open. I lost it. Okay, now we got to wrap this all back up again. There we go. I could even print these boxes because it would be big enough to print that. I wonder what I should print on that. Oh man, that would be cool. It's a nice big surface area to print on. Why waste it? I wonder what I should print when I get the chains. All right. So that one's Dana's. Let's go. All the other Patreon backer books are ready to go. Look at that. Another successful month in the books. April's book is almost finished. Almost ready to go. We will be printing it live on stream probably too. All right, let's close that down a little bit. Get my pretty old face on the screen. That's what I was going for. Sorry, Spot had his foot on the keyboard there. That's okay, Spot. I love you anyway. You're more than welcome to type away. Have you ever used baby tape? It's so much quieter than the standard packing tape. I have not used it. This tape is definitely quieter than the other stuff, and it's a lot thicker, which I like. Tactically, it's easier for me to finagle with, and I get less wrinkles in it. I think this is like halfway to baby tape. It's thicker and it's easier to start. And I like that. But also to me, it feels just a little bit easier to peel up off of itself because it's easy start. So I tend to try to put the end of the tape in the middle of the flat surface so I can put the packing label over it just to make absolutely sure that's tied down. It can't come up when it runs through a million machines. But no, I have not tried baby tape just because they don't sell it here. And I bought that like at Staples when I was there one day getting other stuff. And they had a deal and I bought a big stack of it. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out for almost 2 hours with me while I packed up stuff for my Patreon backers. Some of y'all's. Anyway, I don't think I can get to the post office before it closes at lunch. So I'm probably going to stop, have lunch, and then I will go at 1 o'clock when they open back up again and drop these off because we live in the country. So our post office closes for lunch. And they only got one guy working and he needs a lunch break. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. It was really fun. I really appreciate it. It really helped me get stuff done. The whole body doubling, having friends hanging out with me while I'm doing stuff to make sure I get it done. I appreciate that. Be on the lookout for the Kickstarter coming in May. Oh, I wanted to share this with the Sarahs and stuff of the world and the Chirons because this might come in handy for y'all at some point. The mini comics that I did here that we printed and shipped out with the Patreon backers. Me and Rod, who's one of the Patreon backers also, and he's Irrepressible Papa Bear from Irrepressible Comics on TikTok, and just launched Colonel Jefferson, and it just went out. Really liked it. He's doing his own series. Really proud of the guy. Really enjoy the book. It's weird. It's funny. Since we're both going to be doing a Kickstarter in May, we decided to team up and do some cross promotion. And so we decided to do a 16-page mini comic, and it's going to be a flip book. So like on one side, it's going to be a really funny story he's doing about a character from the world of Caw that got sucked into Colonel Jefferson's universe. And then when you flip it over, it's going to be a comic that I'm doing about the world of Caw crossing over with Colonel Jefferson. And it's only going to be available for the people that back both campaigns at the physical level. So if you back them both, then when you get your books from Caw 1 through 4, you'll get this little mini comic too. And I'm super excited about that. And I thought that's a really clever little idea that would be fairly easy for some of y'all to maybe use yourselves. If you had somebody that you wanted to do a crossover with, it's not that hard to do a little 8-page mini comic that would be a little something special that the backers could only get. Like that, to me, that's way cooler. I would rather get that than a mini print or something, or even a poster. Like if I could get an extra little bit of story out of, that's a hands down no brainer. And those mini comics are something that you might even be able to repurpose artwork you already have and re-letter and make a new little story out of it. Like with 3 issues of Caw and a source book already done, I've got plenty of images. I could tell probably 10 different little short stories just with the images I have and shuffle them up if I wasn't an artist and couldn't make new stuff the way I can. So it's just something to think about as an extra little thing, an extra little bonus. I might even make another mini comic as a stretch goal. Like if we hit here, everybody at the physical level gets a mini comic that tells them more about the world of Caw. And that would be cool. Because like actually this mini comic goes into a little bit more depth on some stuff about the world of Caw and really helps flesh out some of that. I might even I might even extend it to a 16-page comic for the Kickstarter and show like how he got captured because that's not shown in the books. It's hinted at, but it's not actually shown. And I'd like to show that. And I think that would be a fun little place to do it and a fun little add-on to maybe encourage a little bit of extra, spending on the Kickstarter. So anyway, I wanted to share that idea out with you. Rod is super excited about it. Wrote a super funny story about a bird barbarian accountant on Earth who, gets brought into HR for, trying to kill the head of HR. And, it's such a funny story. And then I'm doing The Last Caw Fighter, which is an homage, not a ripoff, an homage to The Last Starfighter, which I absolutely loved. And King Quantum from the world of Caw is trying to find somebody strong enough to beat Caw. So he sends this game out to test all the greatest warriors in the universe, in the multiverse. And I'm going to get cameos from some of my favorite friends' worlds in there of like their best warriors playing this game. And then Colonel Jefferson is going to be the only one that beats it. You'll see. And anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. Back both campaigns, and you'll see it coming in May. I had fun. I'm glad you're here. I hope y'all take that mini comic idea, steal it, and run with it. I hope it makes you a whole bunch of money on your campaigns. Not that the Sarahs of the world need any help with that, but maybe the Chirons and the Fishies and the PJs and the Marquis, maybe they do. So, Sarah don't need no ideas of making money. Sarah knows how to make that money. Hand over fist is what they call Sarah. Just raking it in. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Glad to be getting these books off. Can't wait to send out April's book because freaking Fishtails Volume 2 is so freaking awesome. It is so cool. It has the first full color story my son's ever gotten published. It is so juicy and amazing in the world of Green Zone. It's got an amazing story from the world of Caw, and it's got a really awesome story of Alice Lost in Wonderland. And we get to find out who the White Rabbit is and why she knows him and what the connection is. We get to find out all that stuff. We even get to get a hint at where she got her sword from. So follow along, watch, and you will see that book goes out to Patreon backers at the end of April. So there's still time to subscribe for $10 a month and get a new book shipped to your door every month from your ever-loving Uncle Fishy. So anyway, have fun, peace out, and remember, no matter what, your Uncle Fishy loves you. Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish art stream. J-Man, what's got